Good afternoon and welcome. Today's ROG DreamLeague. It's going to be a long day today. 3 series to look forward to as we are in our final stretch for League Play. Let's take a look at which teams we have for you today. Our first series is going to be Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Team OG, or OG Gaming, Original Gangster Gaming, Oriental Gangster Gaming,
I think we're undecided on that one.
Overly Groomed Gaming. You can all think of other OGs.
It's a team of nerds. I don't really think they're overly.
This is true.
Okay, maybe one
Our
of them.
second series of the day is going to be a Monkey Freedom Fighters, and they're going to be facing 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun. And 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun are also going to play in our last series of the day, and they will play in that one against No Logic Gaming. So that is 3 series, 6 games of Dota ahead of us, a lot of Dota and a lot of fun people to share it with, as well as we have a couch full of lovely people once again. Owen, Shane, Andy, how are you all doing today?
Excellently, as they zoom in on the masterpiece that we created earlier.
It's really pretty. So yesterday we had Pixel Ross. And he came in and drew a tree, and the canvas was kind of white after the happy little tree was drawn on the board. And then a couple of artistic minds came together, and they decided something needed to be done. Something needed to change. This...
Wait, what does it remember? It's like the Fear in the Forest. That's the title of the painting.
Fear in the Forest?
Fear in the Forest.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like
am
the
scared of
alliteration
it.
there.
That is definitely true.
It's beautiful.
We were inspired by Pixel Ross a bit.
Definitely, like all of his earlier work though.
Yeah. I mean, there's a tree, you know.
Is it actually a tree?
This is a tree.
Yeah, Shiva's the only one who actually drew actual
and you
things.
missed
Like,
the
I
spot in
drew a
blending
flower,
there. You see that,
and I
right?
drew a tree in the sun.
Yeah.
So we try and draw things, and I want to just blend it.
I just
He's the
bring
blender.
the brush in and rub it all together.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a masterpiece. Well, now the silent bidding is open. Not very silent because people are actually bidding on Twitter.
100 sec is the
So
first
far
bid.
we have 100 sec in, which is roughly about $10. So if you wanna, you know, get in there, bidding is still open.
Please.
All the income
The paint
goes
is like
to the good fund of help the artist through the winter. It's gonna be cold, harsh winter. Need some, you know, sustenance.
Buy everybody some hot cocoa fund, because that's pretty much what it's going to sell for.
Well, it could be really nice
Such a
hot cocoa.
pessimist.
But I know, it's like $3 a person. That's
yeah,
not bad.
no, I'd take that. Well,
Dude,
oh,
have you seen the painting?
yes,
There are paintings that are less artistic that can sell for a lot more.
that's true. And this one, was, Ape Mother was involved in this one as well. 8 months.
It was the, well, you know, the one that was like the forest.
No, he drew the
expert.
straight lines.
Straight
I
lines.
drew the river. We
Yeah.
just together, I don't know, it just came together and worked so well.
Amazing. Okay, so
You not impressed, Andy?
It's not terrible.
how much would you pay for it? To have
Say-
it?
okay.
Okay, how much would you pay for it?
I'm a bad person to ask because I don't buy art.
Okay, so if we would hang this art piece in your room, how much would you pay to have us remove it?
I think it could actually stay. I wouldn't care. I mean, I got a bunch of white walls anyway, right? Doesn't even matter.
Well, this would fit perfectly.
Yeah. Ties all my not green stuff together.
Beautiful.
The green is a
Excellent.
missing color in your life.
It could be. I like green. I like blue. So I guess both of them together can't be bad, right?
And there's a bit of red and orange and yellow and black and brown in there as well.
I can feel the mood. It's definitely a mood piece for sure.
There's a cage here, and that like represents how we're all trapped in our own
And
bodies.
this is
you know.
also like, it's half like the start of a forest fire, you know? Accidents waiting to happy little accidents waiting to happen.
like forest fires.
All right.
All right. Well, you know, we can't take it with us, unfortunately.
Well, I'll take that.
It doesn't fit in your suitcase.
Carry on.
Yeah, I'll bring it with me.
I bet you could find somebody on the plane to buy it.
That's what they do. To pay for
I
the
mean, you're
ticket.
going back to Goblin Island. Somebody's got to buy that, right?
That's true, yeah. I could say it was by like Picasso or something. They believe me.
Yeah. You could actually just go back, and since nobody knows who Ape Mother is there, you could just say that a monkey actually helped you paint it because it was signed Ape. And that way,
And he can
it might be worth
drew his
more
own
money.
name.
The first ever monkey painting.
But that's
Yeah.
actually not true because people have made monkeys paint.
I don't
before.
believe you. I don't believe you at all. Have they...
He lives in Ireland. They don't know that.
We don't have monkeys.
They definitely don't have monkeys.
Fair enough. And we lost our other monkey. Actually, we have it still. The other monkey. He didn't help. You could have made him help. You could first artificial monkey.
Didn't we say his arms were like trapped?
Yeah, look.
They were super glued or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
They're
that.
So he
super
couldn't
glued,
paint
and
them.
now he's actually using that power to hold himself upright on a pillar. But I point towards it, but it's not in camera view. I think that someone's trying to fix it so that we can show the monkey. We don't have to show the monkey if we don't want to. That's fine.
Cheever
as
would
well.
really like it if you
There
did.
it is!
There we go.
There we go.
I mean, we already mentioned yesterday that was was a chick magnet. So
You could-
maybe I'm just drawn to the monkey.
He could be. He's like a pole dancer now.
It's very limber.
Limber.
There you go.
Not limp.
Definitely not limp.
No.
Okay, so we're here for Dota, of course. Yesterday we had 2 series. Some games were fairly quick. One was really exciting and long, but we're gonna find out a bit about the games of yesterday because we have a recap of those games.
Gets the Shiva still into Hanskin. Gets hecked up with the Lotus Orbs there. Will remove it. Doesn't matter. The Echo stand for Seema. He finds one. They found her. The Doom's going to be on the illusion now. They've got the Hex. They've got the Eclipse. They should be able to still find this. Potentially Hanskin is there. Can he save Era? He picks him up in the Snowball. They might be able to turn straight across Pasha. They're looking for Solo here. No one blinks forward. Can he bring down Era? Yes, he can. Yes, he will. Gets the kill onto the Spectre. Pasha moving forward with the Beacon. But now he's got to turn and run. Hanskin's coming in. They've got the burst. People like they're fine. Pasha. But they do have the damage. Hanskin has got the Earth down him. He'll put the Glimmer Cape. Trying to turn him back. Looking for the TPO.
Nice.
He's captured. No, they haven't. He gets himself out.
Dear God, man.
Oh man, 4 down on the side of NiP. Stiz out here. Arrow flies through the middle of the fight here. Sing Sing blinks forward. He found it. Ulti crit. Can he get crit? Yes. OG now on the back foot, trying to get themselves out. Rise throwing out the lightning, but now he's out of mana. He's got no mana left in the tag. Demon getting stunned up here. No tell me before blinks forward. They chucked a Rise up in the air. They're moving with the clap as well. Rise does get off the stun onto No Tell, but it doesn't matter. They've lost 4, and it's only Sing Sing remaining alive here in the mid lane. NiP being a little bit more careful. No, they're ready to just continue to go. Double kill for Limp as they take down Mag as well. No one moving in, trying to burst down Limp here with the meld hits, but it's just not enough. Triple kill for Limp. But it looks like this could be even potentially be a die back here on this TA. Era's just standing there, getting the right clicks in. GG well played is called 18 minutes in. NiP take the game 14-2.
With yesterday's games out of the way, we are in a very interesting situation here because we have 6 more series to be played. And generally, we kind of know which teams are going to be going to DreamHack Winter. This time, actually, it is not real clear. We can take a look at the standings and we can talk a bit about the standings because, I mean, the standings are basically all over the place, really. There's nothing... Okay, so you can't say anything for sure yet, but in theory...
Vega the Vega are pretty much true. Alliance.
Yes, Vega and Alliance
yeah.
and OG are pretty much through. Now there are 2 teams which right now
Why OG?
can have Ninjas in Pajamas and Team Empire can have total max 6 and 7 respectively points.
Okay.
6 points already for Empire. NiP can have max 7 if they win every single game they have still that they still have. So that is a tricky part because they're going to be up against OG for the first series of the day. So they're looking a bit shaky. Empire is looking a bit shaky, but it can all get turned around because both 4 Clovers and No Logic Gaming have still got quite a few games to be played to play, and they have both a maximum of 9 points to get if they win all their games, and one of the games is against each other that we're going to have tonight.
Okay.
So that could potentially be a deciding factor. Now, to make the chance of tiebreakers as slim as possible, there are some rules that you have to be aware of. When 2 teams are tied, if they're having an even score, they will look at the amount of... if they're having even score in terms of head-to-head will be looked at first. And if they have... The team that has the most 2-0s wins in the tournament, that one gets ahead.
Yeah.
So far, everybody is sitting at around 2 2-0s. Because there's been a lot of ties.
All right.
We had a few. The Alliance and OG both have 3 2-0s, but I mean, as I said, they're kind of already through anyway. So for them, it doesn't really matter. Ninjas in Pajamas is really sad because they haven't had a 2-0 yet at all. And we already mentioned that they kind of have to 2-0 everybody if they want to have a good chance of making it to a DreamHack Winter. So today is going to be a really tricky day for them because today they'll be facing up against Ninjas in Pajamas, and tomorrow they'll be facing No Logic Gaming, which in theory should be more even. Should be a better chance for them. Not even. I think they should, in theory, win that one. But what do you think is going to happen, guys? Who is going to take it?
Today?
Like who's gonna go
in
to
the overall
DreamHack?
standings, I think.
Yeah,
is what she
in those
means.
standings.
Yeah.
Who's gonna? Or it's easier to ask who's not gonna go to DreamHack Winter.
I think NiP have a really hard road ahead of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure, right? But I mean, they're what, 3-7 right now?
Yeah.
And they have 4 more games to play. Even if they win all of them, there's still not a guarantee that they're going through.
No,
So
correct.
that is definitely the hardest position to be in because you're still relying on other teams to potentially lose as well.
Yeah.
And I agree that OG, Alliance, Vega are pretty much set. OG more so because their only losses that they have so far in the ASUS ROG Dream League were to Alliance and Vega because they already played them.
Yeah.
So everybody else you would consider maybe an easier opponent for them, and they've been looking on form lately, so I assume they're going to be doing well in their last couple of matches. So that's already 3 teams. With NiP being on the very bottom, I think that No Logic Gaming has a slight chance because they've only played 8 matches.
Yeah, they play actually today and tomorrow combined still 3 matches.
Yeah.
So they're going to play today against 4 Clovers and Leprechaun, and tomorrow they're going to play against OG and NiP.
Ooh, tomorrow's a hard day for them.
Tomorrow is a tough day for them,
Damn.
for sure.
So with that in mind, I believe bottom 2 would most likely just have to be NLG and NiP, right?
What about
What about Empire?
Oh yeah, Empire as well,
They
you're
have
right.
6 wins.
But there's actually a good chance that I think NiP and NLG could lose a lot of their matches due to who they have to play still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's also possible. But between the 3, it's heavily, I think, that one of those, like 2 out of the 3 of them will be down there.
Agree, Owen?
Yeah, no, I think looking at the standing, it's between the teams that you've just mentioned there. I think it's going to be, obviously after today with the 3 series we're going to have here, it's going to make it a little bit clearer. We'll probably have a better idea of who's really kind of in the bad position. But I think it's not looking great for NiP. They've got a couple of hard series ahead of them in today's matches and tomorrow. So I think NiP, they've got to be careful and they've got to play their best today, which is going to be hard going up against, of course, OG after the pretty much last 2 days of Dota that we've seen OG giving us.
And today we have 3 series. Which one are you looking forward to most?
Probably the first one, I think, just to
Yeah.
see if
OG
OG
NiP?
can continue the flow, get another 2-0 under their belt, or if NiP can kind of put a little bit of an upset, bit of a show and take a game against them.
Would you not say that perhaps 4 Clovers and Leprechaun against No Logic Gaming might be the more even match? In terms of...
I think all the games will be exciting because I like watching Force Seal, and watching OG is also fun because like I said yesterday, I consider them to be at like maybe almost to that level, you know, Secret and stuff like that. But I think Force Seal always have entertaining matches, and NLG have done some really cool stuff so far in the Dream League. So I think both teams can definitely pit a fun game.
Yeah, do you remember I think it was Excalibur's Windrunner against Empire?
Yoku.
Yeah.
Yoku Shadow Fiend. He stole a kill him 3 times. It was actually insane.
It was just like the best Windrunner I think I've ever seen. He just completely took control of the entire game.
It was weird because if he played like that, imagine if he was consistently like that.
Dude.
He would be like one of like the best mids.
Yeah.
It would be completely insane.
It was
It's the dream.
ridiculous. Yeah.
So what do you think are the results going to be today? I mean, you're saying you like OG a lot, so I'm imagining you pinned them down for 2-0 against NiP.
They won't lose.
They won't lose.
I don't think they will lose.
16 wins in a row or something?
Yeah,
had
they played a series after our
Yeah,
series
against
yesterday as
Scary
well, so it
Faces.
would be 16.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not
Decent.
bad.
Yeah, I think like the record's like 24 with Navi, I believe, or something
Yeah.
like that.
And we talked to Moon yesterday, and he said, you know, it doesn't matter how many wins we have, we just keep on trying real hard.
One game at a time. like.
One game at a time, and I mean, it shows. But you think 2-0 then?
Yeah, I think
Easy.
so.
What do you think about the other series? That would be 4 Clovers versus Monkey Freedom Fighters,
That one is even for me. I would say that's probably 1-1.
and then 4 Clovers versus No Logic Gaming.
I would say 2-0 Fort Seal because I believe
Okay.
NLG also changed roster, didn't they? Again? I thought I heard that.
Last I heard, they have Excalibur, Spartan, Mitch, Milan, and Garter.
Okay, well that's the same then. I
That
thought
would be
somebody
the
said
same.
that they switched roster
But they
again,
might
maybe.
have switched because this is indeed, I guess, maybe some old information.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw a few other players playing with other teams, like as stand-ins. I'm not sure if they were trying out for them and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I think I read that. I think Madara is now on No Logic Gaming.
Instead of who?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
a post about
Is it
that. but I don't know-
Madara or Madara?
Oh, that's good. I think I used to say.
think
I
it's
always
some
said Madara,
Naruto
but I think
Yeah,
it's
it's Naruto.
Madara. It's named
It's
after
Madara.
some anime or
Naruto.
something.
Yeah, yeah,
Naruto, yeah.
Naruto, is that?
Yeah, it
I
is.
don't know what it is. I
I've
don't
seen
know
it
it, but Madara. There you go.
I was just
Okay.
making sure.
No, that's right. It's
Shane knows
Madara.
his
But I think
anime.
Madara is now in the team as well.
Instead of who?
I can't remember what role Madara. I think he's mid. I mean,
Mid was Steve.
He played.
Steve's not left, is he?
He played core,
No.
didn't he? He played
Did he?
number
Because
1.
he used to play for London Conspiracy
As-
with Spartan,
Yeah.
so it makes sense why he would move over to No Logic
Yeah.
Gaming to join Spartan. But I can't remember what role he played.
He
but
was
I'm
core.
pretty sure he's in the lineup now.
He was a farmer, like
Okay.
number 1.
Who was
that would be
farming the
Garter.
other day? Garter. So maybe
Yeah.
Garter's out, Madara's in, I think, at least, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. It's going to be something to look forward to checking out today. And what do you think the scores will be?
So yeah, first series 2-0 to OG. I think I've got to go with them. Even though I thought NiP played, I like NiP because they always come up with something a little bit different. You know, yesterday we saw them first game, they went for kind of the TI4 final steamroll meta and it worked out. In the second game they tried to go for the global strat, didn't work out as successfully. But I think even if you just try any of those strats against OG, it's just not going to work. They're going to have you figured out and they should take the series 2-0. Second series of the day, 4 close versus Monkey Freedom Fighters. Monkey Freedom Fighters weren't looking too hot at all yesterday, so I doubt that they'll be even able to take a game. I think 4 Clovers is definitely the strongest side in that matchup. And then with the final one, 4 Clovers versus No Logic Gaming, with NLG's kind of lineups being shifted around, I could kind of see 4 Clovers having a really good day today and just taking 4 games off the back of both of the teams.
That would be very welcome for them, and the scores would kind of put them in a position where they're most likely going through. If you compare
and it would
them
also kind of not guarantee the bottom 2, but there would be like a very high chance, because if that happens, then NLG end today with 7 losses as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then NiP would have 9.
Hey, one thing we didn't actually discuss with the standings is that not only does bottom 2 matter, but also top 2 matters.
Yep.
So top 2 actually makes it through to the next, like the second day of DreamHack Winter. That means you can skip day 1, and it means you're in the winners bracket straight off the bat, which Vega, Alliance, and OG are all in contention for. And OG has the chance to get 10 points total. Alliance has the chance in total to get 9 points total. But Alliance still has to face Vega. And that is going to happen tomorrow's first series of the day. Vega can still have 10 points total. And I think that the way things are looking right now, OG will be in the top 2. And then the next will be decided tomorrow when we see Vega go up against Alliance. So
like 4CL, if Owen's right in his predictions, could actually be near the top as well.
yeah, they can, but they can have 9 points total.
Yeah.
There's
If they
teams
win
that have-
everything, right?
If they won
Yeah.
everything,
Okay.
yes.
So best case scenario for OG is that Vega versus Alliance goes 1-1, because
Yes.
that way one team is at 9, the other's at 8. That way if they do get to 10, then they're guaranteed number 1.
Yes.
And then if it's 1-1, they still have a better chance of getting in the top 2 anyway, because neither team is going to be at 10. So.
And neither team will have an extra 2-0 to add to their tiebreaker standing of having the most 2-0s in the
Well, I guess if you only care about getting top 2, it doesn't matter if Alliance get 2, because they can only end up at 9, right?
Alliance can only end up at 9, yes.
Yeah, but if you want first, then they have to tie. But it doesn't matter
Yes.
between 1 and 2, correct? Because neither team plays
Doesn't
in the
it
first
go
day.
brackets? I'm pretty sure this, on the second day, go into brackets and you played the...
I think that...
I think it does matter.
yeah, but there
one
won't be
and two.
tiebreakers played for that.
No, it does not. No.
Okay. It's a really big advantage, though, because you get to watch every single team play on the first day.
You get also a day to just, chill. You don't have to, after travel, straight away go into your matches. You have just a day
Yeah,
to
DreamHack usually have like
relax.
all the PCs set up, so you can like just even just play pubs
Yeah.
and stuff. Get in the mindset.
Explore Jönköping. You will. No.
It's meant to be pretty nice. I've never actually explored it, but everyone that does says it's great. So,
It's a pretty cool place.
have you been out?
Yeah, we've gone around a little bit, gone out to some nice pubs, I guess.
Okay, now it's soon time for our guest and our also local analyst Lumi. But before we get them on the couch, there is still something that we need to show you, which is a box. A box that you can win. And you can win an ASUS ZenPad S8.
Not just a box.
You cannot just... The
Ooh.
ASUS ZenPad S8 is actually in the box. Ladies and gentlemen, in the box. So you can actually win that if you go to facebook.com/ROG Nordic. There you fill in what you think is the most influential hero of this
Don't drop
week's
it, Shane.
league
Gonna drop
play.
it, it's fine.
He did drop it, it's fine. Of this week's league play. And you also put in a motivation as to why you
what's up?
think that hero is the most influential hero. And then tomorrow evening it will actually be 8 Mother who will decide which hero was the most influential hero according to him for this week's league play. And he will give a motivation. And if your motivation and hero coincides with his motivation and hero, you have a chance of winning the ASUS ZenPad S8. So make sure to check that out. Now, I think we've heard enough from both Owen and Andy. It's time for them to go prepare for our first series. And it's time to get Lumi and our weekly guest on the couch. Welcome back.
Thanks.
And,
It randomly turned on.
yeah,
Um,
Shade might have or might not have like drained all the batteries.
it's fine.
For
It
the
looks
first
pretty cool. I'm
version.
just setting it up for you, so you haven't like just the second you get it, it's ready to rock.
It's actually pretty unique to have, if you buy some technology, to have the battery full
That's true, and completely set up because
and
I've
completely
already
set up.
what? Okay.
You're
Yeah.
actually using it.
Yeah. It's pretty nice,
The
right?
setup is part of the fun. You get to choose the colors and stuff.
Yeah, the colors, Shane. Think of
And
the
put your
colors.
email in.
Think of the colors. Well, I put
What
in
happened
kids
to our
mode.
painting?
Someone stole it.
No, they moved
You can
it.
make it like pencil control, so you can't actually do anything.
Make sure no one watches any naughty stuff.
So OG versus Ninjas in Pajamas will be our first series. Guys, what do you reckon? How is this game going to go? Are we going to have some early game aggression and it's going to end within 20 minutes? Because I believe that's what we said yesterday. The games will be decided, rather, within 20 minutes. You still think that's the case for this series?
Depends. It depends so much on the draft, like what they choose to build against. Like yesterday we saw them, the first game they kind of outdrafted themselves, Vega. And NiP capitalized on that.
Yeah.
So it was like a very short game and it was like very straightforward. But as we saw in the second game, you can make it drawn out with like a very even, well-balanced draft on both sides. So I think anything can happen, but it favors OG.
Yeah, well, like in the drafts we've seen OG, they just take complete control.
Yeah, they're
really,
very open.
Yeah, and they've really balanced drafts. And they always kind of last pick these strange heroes that completely throw a spanner in the works.
Okay, Lumi has prepared some information for you all with a preliminary analysis. I hope he does.
We hope so.
Yeah, he does. I'm sure.
All right, I guess I'm gonna talk about Dota. You guys didn't even ask me about my day.
How was your day?
I feel very.
Oh, that's not
Dude,
good. Why?
I took you out to a restaurant that had
You didn't
live,
take me out.
live
I paid
piano.
for myself.
Live piano.
Yeah. Can I talk about? I know this is like a Dota segment.
No, go ahead because.
So we went to the kebab house.
Yeah.
People's Kebab is what it's
The
called.
People's Kebab.
People's
It's
Kebab.
beautiful.
So we normally get what he gets. He gets a kebab salad. I get a kebab roll. And then it's like, dude, there's a buffet upstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
Who figured it out?
No, the guy behind the till was like, you have to go upstairs.
Yes.
And we were like, why?
the same
We
price?
just want a kebab thing. And
Yeah.
he's like, you gotta go upstairs.
Okay.
So we went upstairs, and there's some classical music being played on the piano. I was like, oh, they got some nice tunes there. I sat down for 30 minutes until I actually realized, like 10 feet away from me, there's a guy actually playing the piano.
This is the classiest kebab place you've ever been to. Like.
This is why I get lost on bus, because there's a guy playing piano 10 feet away from me. I don't know.
Did you get lost on a bus today? No, right?
No, I didn't.
No.
Today I had to make sure my undies are dried properly.
They're very
Did they-
serious.
They're very warm now.
I used a drying machine that was in the laundry room. Yeah, my jeans kind of shrunk. It's kind of sad.
Oh, mines are fine.
Yeah, I didn't do it right. It's very
And
sad.
the happiest surprise is I came in here, there's a bowl of candy.
There is.
I'm ready to go, boys. Let's talk about Dota. All right, so picking off from where we left off yesterday, OG is dominating, and they're doing it in very stylish manner. We saw a Invoker yesterday against Scary Faces. You should be very happy when Quas
Nice.
Wex Invoker. The game ended in like 17 minutes, 16 minutes.
Nothing new there,
Nothing
I guess.
And then the other game, they had a Brewmaster, I believe, once again. So it feels like OG are getting away with fairly greedy heroes, I have to say. Like, to me, Invoker and Brewmaster are not exactly the lane dominators, but the other lanes and the rotations are so good that they could kind of get away with some of the greedy picks, and then that gives them a very strong mid to late game oomph, if that's even needed. So something I touched on yesterday is that I feel like maybe teams need to go all in. Like, you go in for an all in timing, maybe a 15-minute mech push, group up and do something. Does NiP strike you as one of those teams that would do something like that?
Kind of. They like to do the Shadow Fiend mech slaughter,
Okay.
like push and jump kind of strats. So
Maybe that's
they're-
something they need to do
they're
then.
definitely like comfortable with that kind of play. So.
Yeah. I think what we saw from NiP yesterday is that they could execute the strategy quite well early on. And once the chaos starts to happen, they start to lose their timing a bit, they start to lose focus a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's where OG will have the advantage. But to me, the NiP player has what it takes to beat OG, just whether they could string it together. So
And whether they have the same idea as to get an all-in strat that will win early game, because the games that OG has had have been on the short side. And even, I think they won one game in 42 minutes yesterday when we saw them up against Monkey Freedom Fighters. And Monkey Freedom Fighters went for an anti-mage, and that game was actually drawn out quite long. But they still ended up
It
winning.
could have been a lot longer, but they couldn't hold the high ground. So
Yeah.
it just ended.
I think that game actually ended like 20 minutes in. But then
But then
Yeah,
it
the
the
just got
nature of
drawn
the
out.
draft, like anti-mage is going to try to drag it out much
But they
longer.
had super good high ground, but
They did.
they got picked off and they just lost.
Yeah.
Is a strategy
sad.
like that not also one that can beat OG, to have like an anti-mage and just make sure
just
that you have
stall.
4 people that can stall and fight and basically deflect and defend the base while there's one person that is able to still get some
Well, the
farm.
problem was in that game when they picked Anti-Mage, they just drafted around it so well that the pressure on Anti-Mage was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Sing Sing did amazingly on his Anti-Mage to get the farm he did, but it still just wasn't enough to propel them into the late game.
Wasn't that also because he was put in a solo, like he was,
Yeah, no,
he
he's
started out
the
solo
defensive
lane against an aggressive tri-lane?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the way they drafted against it. You know what I mean? They knew this was coming, so they were like, okay, we're going to pick like Vengeful Spirit, like a hero we don't see very often, and we're just going to go offensive with Gyrocopter and stuff like that.
I think we talked to Moon afterwards, and he said, you know, we got the Nyx Assassin, very comfortable playing against Rat-style lineup, a la Alliance. So they're like, we're not really afraid of the Anti-Mage. But I think to answer your question about going late, I think you could definitely go late, but the way I see it is, as the game go later and later, the more experienced team, the better team generally find more mistakes from their opponents.
Yeah.
So to me, OG is still favor in that regard. It doesn't mean that NiP can't go late, but it's also like yesterday, their last game, it went very late for NiP,
Yeah.
but that's when they start making mistakes. So
One of the games that they actually ended up very early in was a game where they played Jakiro for Jonas and Fan. Is that a hero that we might see today? Because I feel like he kind of fits in a sort of like gimmicky early game push strat lineup.
Yeah, he's very good at like
Yeah.
in this kind of pushing scenarios, but I think you want more like playmaker on offlane most of the time,
Like Moon does on his Nyx Assassin.
or maybe more team fight oriented one like Darkseer, who has a lot of pressure. Yakiro can be shut down very easily if he's like on his own.
Didn't they dual lane him? Did you
Yeah, they
kill?
did.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah. But you
So-
the like all of a sudden you can get so many objectives off. Like
Yeah,
the
that's true.
Darkseer doesn't really give you that. Like sure, he gives you the team fight and the mechanism and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but actually getting the objectives early game, especially when you're dire, like it just opens up things like Roshan and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like super.
it's very true. I think the most important thing is to have like a well-rounded draft that actually has some fallback if you lose, so you don't lose in the first 20 minutes.
Okay, what thing do we look forward to if you're watching the game, for the viewers at home, what should they look forward to seeing in this series? What should they look out for? What should the points of attention be?
I think in the draft, the last pick from OG is always very interesting to
Mhm.
me. And then in the game itself, the thing I like is the 10-minute to like 20-minute mark from OG is always so dominant. They just put so much pressure on the entire map. Like the supports rotate really well. They fight well early. So like I really like OG's way of fighting in the early game. Like, I think that's exciting for me.
What do you think, Lumi? Which hero for which player do you want to see?
I really want to see a Limpuck. To me,
Okay.
it's one of his better heroes. Unfortunately, it's not a meta hero. To me, the mid lane right now has been very farm-centric. Like you see the Shadow Fiend go for the mech, gives you the early game and then a very strong late game as well if it gets to that point. But, I mean, guy just lands 3-man Dream Coil for days. He does well in lanes. You talked about how important the early game is, setting up that first gank once you hit level 6. To me, that's his hero. Queen of Pain is also fairly similar when it comes to the early tempo control into somewhat of a mid to late game. So that's a hero that I want to see him on. A hero I don't want to see Jonas is on is the LC. He plays a good LC, but LC to me is quite hit and miss lately.
Yeah,
And we don't actually see LC anymore, right?
not much.
It's
I
been
think
a couple of weeks that.
NiP has played it sometimes, like
Okay.
lately,
Okay.
but not much.
But for me,
They're like
NI
the only team that does it.
yeah, NiP to me needs to have the 3 cores doing well right from the get-go. And LC needs a lot of help.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't see LC. But maybe they feel so confident on the hero that they could run it again.
Mother, are there any heroes that you do not want to see? That you hope we won't see? That you think that maybe, like Lumi says, could maybe draft Ninjas in Pajamas in a corner?
Viper.
Viper, instantly. But
Yeah.
wouldn't Viper be also like one of those early mech carriers that could help you?
Yeah, but at the same time, he's
Really?
not that very. It's like he's
Doesn't
not that
scale.
flexible. He has this one role that he fits kind of clumsy, so he can't really adapt to other situations that well.
I didn't really like the Zeus yesterday from Ninjas in Pajamas. Like I thought in theory it made sense. And
I
The
liked it.
global strat.
I liked it a
Global
lot.
strat,
Yeah,
and he could nuke down the Luna
Yeah,
real
it looked
fast.
good. And in the draft I was like, this makes sense. But
Yeah.
then the way they played around it, he just never really got any items, never really got any farm. Didn't really go into the late game with anything.
Yeah, that's true. It was
He
kind of
did
awkward for him.
I think with the Zeus, they were expecting to win the game in
Yeah.
25-30 minutes. Unfortunately, they couldn't.
Well, if you pick Zeus and you want to win the game that early, like surely you don't pick Spectre then.
Well, that's part of the global strat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the draft was fine. Again, I would have loved to see Puck instead of Zeus, but can't
Earlier
ask
this,
for everything.
earlier this week we talked about the draft, and we talked about how teams now draft more towards the other team. In terms of first bans, we mostly see first bans targeted at teams rather than targeting the OP heroes, apart from Doom, of course. There's still that one. And the occasional Tusk there. Which bans would you like to see from both teams? If you're thinking of targeting...
Dazzle for OG is a
yeah,
big one.
and actually yesterday we saw Dazzle being banned out in the second series, a second game they played.
Yeah, I think both Fly and Crit played that hero amazingly, and the team itself just liked their early game aggression and just having this fallback, even an early weave. Like they prioritized the levels on the Dazzle a lot, and was it poor Rise on his Leshrac? He felt the
minus
the
armor.
pain.
Yeah, minus armor is pretty good, I heard.
Yeah, he was playing Leshrac and he was in the middle lane. He was on full HP, and in about a second, he wasn't. Like, it was just instant. Poof.
Just poof.
Yeah, I think the Dazzle, the Darkseer, the Tusk, and the Winter Wyvern is going to be like top 4 priorities on pick and ban.
Is it for both teams, you think?
Yeah, for both teams.
You agree, Lumi?
I think more so for NiP. The Dazzle is one Undying as a hero that Fly plays a lot.
Yeah.
If I'm playing against them, I was like, forget Doom. You could have Doom. Maybe that's a really bad idea, but I mean, we see Doom being given away in the Nanyang finals.
Yeah.
Game after game after game. I'm just afraid of the Dazzle and Undying.
You have to counter the Doom with like, we have so many cores. Who do you actually Doom? It's like
maybe but well, the draft is on the way.
Yeah, we can see which heroes are going to be banned out for the teams. As it's time for our first game, Ninjas in Pajamas versus OG Dota 2 or OG Gaming.
Instantly removing the Tusk.
Yeah.
What were the negative OGs we came up with yesterday? We had some negative ones.
10 seconds remaining.
It's hard to use the O.
It is, yeah. We came up with like
seconds remaining.
Overextension guaranteed.
Yeah, overextension guaranteed.
That's very long.
It's very long.
What was it? Something garbage. What was the garbage one?
Odorous
garbage.
Odorous garbage. So
I had a fairly racist one. I'm not sure if I could even say on camera.
I feel like
is it racist, Shane?
I can't remember.
With the techies one.
10 seconds.
It's pretty racist.
Yeah,
Okay,
I remember that one now too. Don't do it.
Is it racist?
All right. So both Undying and Dazzle is left in the pool. OG secures the Shadow Fiend Radiant.
Yeah, it's pretty smart because I know NiP has had a lot of success with the Shadow Fiend lately
Okay.
as well. So they both deny it and take it on the Radiant side, so it's like win-win for OG right now.
It's also probably one of the best ways to deal with OG's early aggression. You have a fallback mechanic on the Shadow Fiend. You can jungle, get up the mechanism early just to deal with it.
Yep.
But they answer with Spirit Breaker
Radiant team
and
pick.
Darkseer.
What's the synergy between Spirit Breaker and Darkseer? What does Ninjas in Pajamas?
It's like
Wanna
dual
go for?
offlane, super pressure.
And also, when you see Spirit Breakers play, it also just reveals warding. Like, you can just charge from certain angles and judge the player's reaction. In, like, say, for example, you charge the Shadow Fiend and see if he moves back. Okay, they've a ward in this position.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Of course, the Spirit Breaker also could pressure the Shadow Fiend on the mid lane, and that means Dazzle should have a TP ready. But even if Dazzle has a TP ready, like between Iron Shell and Charge, you could kind of, if your HP is high enough, you could follow him, way out the grave, and then still get the kill there.
Yeah.
It's kind of even one of them like off-map heroes. You can just be in the fog, even pulling in the safe lane, and just being off the map creates this pressure for your middle lane.
You never really know if there's a Spirit Breaker charging at you.
You need to be kind of concerned about your safe lane right now. You have Dazzle, but you need to pick
5 seconds remaining.
like strong safe lane heroes. Gyro is banned already. Maybe.
Yeah, OG have been first picking the Gyrocopter for Miracle
Yeah,
quite a lot.
It's a perfect hero for this meta, I think. So.
Just early game fighting and
We
stuff.
we haven't seen a lot of Ember in the last few days. Actually,
not at
lack
all.
of Ember.
It's mostly banned.
No,
Like,
not
the
even
fifth
that
phase
often.
banned, so.
Sometimes fifth phase ban,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
even
that's
like
true. There's higher priorities right now, like these Dazzle kind of heroes. And I think Ember overall is kind of overrated. He's good at fighting. He's kind of like a. I know Chinese people used to refer him to like a puck, but it's a carry.
Okay.
Like-
Because he's mobile.
Yeah, he's mobile and has like this kind of chain, cool, the CC control and stuff.
So banning the Queen of Pain for OG, like one of the better heroes, I guess, against the Shadow Fiend mid.
if you're Ninjas in Pajamas, and you know that your mid Olymp is going to be going up against a Shadow Fiend, which hero would really fit into their lineup so far?
Well, for me, when I see Shadow Fiend and Dazzle, I guess someone like TA is pretty good.
But at the same time, they have Dazzle.
Yeah, it's like you can kind of win the lane as TA early game.
I thought Lina was good, and then they banned it out. Limp's very comfortable on the hero. They kind of snowball.
Leshrac even is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, Darkseer Leshrac is a nice combination.
I think somebody that gets a Yules, like we see a lot of plays where you, like, let's say go for the Shadow
10
Fiend.
seconds
You see the Dazzle
remaining.
comes in, you Yules him up, so you prevent the grave, you get the kill, and then Dazzle is now like
5
stranded there.
seconds remaining.
So
Necro.
Necrophos ban. What could that mean?
Team pick.
Is it? Can we derive
Maybe
anything
they
off
want to
that
go
ban?
for like a tank hero like Bristleback, or which is not really that good
They
at the
could
moment.
be afraid of the just overwhelming amount of heal with a Shadow Fiend
Yeah.
mech, with a
Wait,
Dazzle.
They
Ancient
usually go
Apparition is
for.
still on the pool. Wouldn't you pick up that hero if you had?
It doesn't always, like, Ancient Apparition on its own it doesn't really work that well with Spirit Breaker, I don't think. It's very difficult
10
on your own
seconds
as
remaining.
like to zone out the offlane.
OG usually go for like this dual sustain hero, like Undying Dazzle is very strong combo.
Yeah.
They used to do that a lot.
Well, they do both.
Thing about
Okay,
AA
nice.
though, you need to hit like everyone with ulti,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even that long without Aga. So
vacuum ult. Easy.
yeah, like Naga sleep into vacuum A ult.
Okay.
Easy game.
Seal Kid's the one that plays the AA for NiP, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
generally.
he
Usually-
played it
usually,
yesterday,
yeah.
yeah. And
So it's not that farm intensive. It's like very late Aga most of the time.
I actually think the Agabo and AA is somewhat overrated. I see a lot of the Asian players, they start to lean away from the Midas and just get like support item like and 4-staff.
you
Yeah.
have a
And
And you
mechanism maybe.
just fight, yeah.
Yule's AA is pretty good as well.
But now we see a Slaughter, so a ton of minus armor from the side of OG. And if you're the ice cream man, you're kind of afraid.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
And you're also kind of sad with the lack of lockdown. And they do have a bit of kite, I guess, in a way. Not even that
With
much.
the surge, kind of.
10 seconds
Yeah.
What you mean, yeah.
remaining.
That's
And
true.
maybe, I mean, for Ice Vortex, it's in a mini, tiny,
5
tiny
seconds
kind of
remaining.
kite. Because if you have a Slaughter running at you and you don't have a disable, you can't really make him.
Reserve
You can't really
time.
bash him on command. Which hero would you like to see with that? Because you mentioned that you didn't like the Viper that much, but wouldn't that be a good
Venom.
hero to kite him around? Venocore?
Venom's pretty good,
Even
especially with the AA.
with the Dazzle, the heal is quite powerful against it.
Yeah, the sustain is pretty good, but I mean,
But if they go for a Veno as a core, they're gonna lack damage. They're gonna
think?
lack. I think
Venom
they're
gives
gonna
you
lack.
some,
No,
like,
I don't.
if you have Ice Vortex and Veno ult on,
They lack physical damage, though.
Yeah.
physical damage.
Definitely.
I mean, and both Slardar as well, Shadowfiend are heroes that go for BKB generally.
it's true. But BKB doesn't really counter Venom super hard.
Yeah, because if you gale before the
Yeah.
BKB, you're still.
Even the like if you ulti into the BKB, it stays on.
I like Venom more for the wards because the way
Yeah.
that OG likes to play is they charge in like a long distance, and all the meanwhile your wards is hitting your Dazzle, your squishy backlines.
It's decent, but I mean, it's not that great against Shadowfiend in lane. Like, it's not super good.
Oh,
Because he can just
kill
hit
your
the
wards,
wards with
They
his
could,
bonus
they
damage.
could go for their Weaver again
and push the lane with the race.
and just put a lot of pressure. Like Slardar on his own, it doesn't really dominate like an offlaner that much. And if they do a offensive tri lane, could work pretty
Yeah,
well.
it could work.
I'm actually hoping they pick a hero that could somewhat deal with the minus armor of OG.
I was
So maybe like a Sven could give your team armor, maybe a Vlad's hero, AC based hero. Like right now, this minus armor team from the outside is looking real scary.
Yeah, I know.
the thing with that though, it's not even enough. Like Sven barely like.
Plus
we've-
20, dude. That's a lot.
Slardar on his own nearly removes it all.
I mean, there's no one other hero that gives you that much,
Well,
right?
I was thinking maybe TA because of the refraction. You just completely block the damage.
10
Okay.
seconds
That was my
remaining.
logic. It's still.
But at the same time, she's not gonna do that much if she's just gonna be crushed by
They
the
go for your
slaughter and then
Sven.
ulti
Boom.
by the F5 damage.
Got him.
Radiant
No, it
team
works,
pick.
but it's like.
Now you have 3 melee strength heroes. Let's go Timber Saw, boys.
Yeah, you have the
Seriously,
surge.
Timber.
You have the Iron Shell for the Sven. You have the Surge to kind of back him up so he doesn't get kited.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's the best Timber game ever.
It's two melee strength
Does
heroes.
Moon play?
You should go safe lane Timber and
There's
off lane Slaughter this game.
Darkseer's
Int-
intellect.
I'm telling you, brother.
But do they
He's
play
kinda
Timber though?
strong.
Do they have a Timber player?
No
10
tail plays
seconds
everything.
remaining.
Okay. I believe that.
It's fine.
I would believe that too.
5 seconds remaining.
Mm.
Oh no, it's gonna be down
Okay.
dying.
Dude, Aghanim's Undying
Team
against melee heroes. You know, you put up the Tombstone, it's just very difficult to close the gap to get to the
Yeah.
Tombstone to even attack it.
Here's the thing though, we keep saying how OG drafts very well. Right now they have 0 stuns. I mean they have 1, they have Slaughter. But he needs a Blink Dagger to get those stuns off.
Yeah.
So is there a world where you could see NiP just kite the bejesus out of OG? They have good guiding hero. They got Surge, they got Ice Vortex, they got Warcry.
It depends a lot on the Slardar and his blink timing.
I guess it's
Team
Venno, like,
pick.
he's a good cater here.
Yeah.
Even if
Think so.
Slark goes for Blink, he's gonna be kind of screwed by the Ven Awards.
For the Ven Awards, yeah, that's true.
But is it really a limp hero though? Because that's someone we're lacking.
He's played it before, right?
Jonas plays it for them usually.
Yeah, mostly it's
Really?
Jonas playing
Okay.
it,
I'm gonna
yeah.
assume Jonas is gonna play the
Yeah, I
Dark
guess
Seer though.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
That is kind of awkward.
I mean, Venom mid is not exactly the hardest hero to play. Like, you kind of just sit there and...
That's not true. I've seen Fada play it. Like you deny and last hit every single
You
creep.
can
With
stack
wards.
the wards and
Okay.
stop them.
Yeah.
I think it's not a hard game to play Venom this game because you could charge in with Spirit Breaker, sets up the Gale, especially if AA coming in, putting in Ice Vortex. Should be fairly easy kill, even with the Dazzle helping out. Okay,
Viper boys.
Well,
You didn't want to see this hero.
Radiant.
I mentioned the Viper. Want to just point that out? It's a good kiting hero, I guess. Right?
Yeah, it is definitely.
It's okay.
You're just not a fan of the Viper, and there's the Brew
Nah.
once again as well.
I mean, I'm a fan of the Viper, but I don't know if it's a limp hero.
So you're,
Okay. So what do you think? Who do you favor?
I like I
Is it
just
still
like
gonna be OG?
Brewmaster in general. I think when you have you're relying on your Sven to do a lot of damage, and you can just tornado him early game with the
Yeah.
Brewmaster. It's going to be very difficult. Like we were talking about NiP kiting OG, but I think it's going to go the other way with that pick.
Yeah, even just Drunken Haze is gonna screw
Exactly.
both Viper and Sven at this point.
Is there any specific timing we should look out for Ninjas in Pajamas when they should be getting some plays into the game?
They need to like hit the stride before
The
OG
mechanism.
get Mecha and Blinks.
Yeah, exactly. It's all on the mechanisms. Really.
Then they can just
Viper
kind of
needs to
go.
get mech fast.
Okay,
Oh.
guys, you heard it. Keep
Or
an eye out
Darkseer.
on those mech timers. We'll be ready for the first game right now. It is Ninjas in Pajamas taking on OG with OD Pixel and Draskell.